leadership of President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, we have provided leadership to address the sources of division and instability in our member states. This has also involved engaging in mediation and facilitation processes, bringing the various parties involved together to explore viable solutions and tackle national crisis that has the potential to affect us all. In my capacity as chair of the ECOWAS Council of Ministers, I have been active, playing mediation and good offices roles in West African states at the behest of the authority of ECOWAS heads of state and government. Since last year, I personally have led many ECOWAS missions to Mali, Guinea, and Burkina Faso, which are aimed at resolving the political crisis in those countries. My ministry also facilitated the organization of the emergency summits, which were convened by His Excellency the President, who is chair of the ECOWAS Authority, on the situations in the ECOWAS member states concerned. In the midst of the various crises, we successfully led ECOWAS to agree to a reform of its institutional structure, including the reduction of the number of commissioners and a substantial reduction in its budget. Our achievement will ensure a more efficient organization with the greatest proportion of its budget channeled into community programs, with the greatest impact on the lives and livelihoods of ECOWAS citizens. We want ECOWAS citizens to actually feel ECOWAS, and that is why we have taken steps to ensure that more of our budget goes into programs. Ladies and gentlemen, the defining leadership of ECOWAS by the President of the Republic has won Ghana great respect in the community of nations. World leaders praise the leadership of the President on every occasion. This is important as it amplifies our voice in dealing with the international community on matters that are central to the peace, security, and prosperity of our people and those in our region. Diplomatic leadership will continue to be a hallmark of ours as we perform our responsibility as a non-permanent member of the United Nations Security Council for the next 2 years. Already, in our capacity as chair of the African Union Peace and Security Council, I chaired a ministerial meeting to provide guidance to the 3 African members, the A3, of the UN Security Council. We are committed to ensuring a strong, united, and effective African voice on the solutions that are critical to Africa's progress. That is silencing the guns and ending terrorism and extremist violence in the Sahel and elsewhere on the continent. There's a need to strengthen the peace and security capacities of the African regional economic communities, including ECOWAS. We must get sustainable funding from the United Nations to complement our own regional peace and security initiatives to address climate-induced insecurity in our region. We are already engaging with members of the Council on radically changing the approach to terrorism and violent extremism by ensuring a balanced focus on both military force and root causes that the malign forces exploit to radicalize and recruit our peoples. We expect the dividend of such initiatives to include building community resilience, including through economic empowerment, especially of women, also access to good quality education and skills for young people across the region, climate mitigation and re-establishment or establishment of state presence in all parts of our countries in the ECOWAS region. Elections, as they say, have consequences. We were elected to the council and we are making our election matter to our people. We look to build a global coalition to deal with the things we cannot do on our own or as a smaller group of countries. Already, we have co-sponsored with Norway a United Nations Security Council resolution under the agenda item Peace and Security in Africa, and it's titled Maritime Security in the Gulf of Guinea. The draft resolution has support from all members of the Security Council, and we call on our friends on the Council to ensure its adoption as speedily as possible. In addition to the priorities we are focused on in the Council, We chair the Security Council subsidiary bodies on the Central African Republic Sanctions Committee, the Sudan Sanctions Committee, and the Working Group on Peace Operations. We have the opportunity to engage with the key partners on two trouble spots on our continent, where the AU is keen to facilitate the transition to normalcy and advance implementation of its Agenda 2063 on the continent we want. Peace and security in Central African Republic is part of our strategic agenda to bring peace and security to West Africa. The United Nations efforts in Central African Republic reinforce the partnership that we are building with ECAS, the central body, Regional Economic Community, to protect the Sahel and coastal West Africa. Ghana is part of coastal West Africa. Fortuitously, Ghana is the pen holder for West Africa, including the Sahel, together with Ireland. Peacekeeping is a top priority for Ghana, and we currently rank 9th globally among the top troop contributing countries. We expect to move further up in the coming months. As such, we will work with other council members on ways to enhance peacekeeping, including responsiveness and effectiveness of mandates and the security of our troops. With Kenya co-chairing the informal expert group on climate change and security, the ad hoc working group on conflict prevention and resolution in Ghana, and Gabon chairing the DRC Sanctions Committee, the three African members of the Council, the A3, will provide leadership on Africa's priorities for peace and sustainable development. Our membership of the United Nations has positioned us to influence the policy dialogues at both the United Nations and the Bretton Woods institutions in terms of our needs for building resilience as a middle-income country. The Sustainable Development Agenda of the United Nations was a response to the recognition that the absence of a comprehensive, interlinked approach to economic, social, and environmental issues had been the cause of the failure of developing countries, especially to achieve inclusive growth and sustainable development. At the same time, the Charter of the United Nations clearly establishes the link between human rights, peace, and security and development. To overcome the historic structural impediments that hold our countries back to achieve the SDGs, even in the face of the setbacks caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, the international community needs to rethink the current model of economic and development cooperation. For Ghana, our interest lies in partnership with donors on high-impact projects, such as the Palugu Dam, which, when completed, will transform the lives and opportunities for a large segment of our population and for businesses. If we are able to achieve the SDGs, we cannot continue with business as usual if we cannot address international peace and security in an isolated manner. Ladies and gentlemen, a manifestation of the respect and goodwill that Ghana enjoys around the world is the number of high-level visits that foreign leaders make to Ghana and the invitations we receive for official and state visits abroad. These include the state visit of President Cyril Ramaphosa, President of South Africa, which culminated in the successful inauguration of the Binational Commission and the signing of 4 agreements on agriculture, immigration, transport-related matters, and gender between the two countries. Also, the 2-day working visit to Ghana by the Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Denmark, which resulted in the signing of a letter of intent on zero emissions, as well as a letter of intent on green umbrella water solutions for Danish projects. These agreements are aimed at reducing climate change impacts, as well as boosting water efficiency and conservation in Ghana. Other visits at ministerial level were accompanied with COVID-19 vaccine deliveries. The UK Secretary for Home Department, during her visit, launched a new 24-hour super priority visa service to support business and leisure travel between Ghana and the UK. She also handed over an office building funded by the High Commission to the Ghana Immigration Service to use for special operations, including tracking of document fraud and organized immigration crime. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs also facilitated the high-level visits of His Excellency, the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, to a number of countries. An example was a working visit to the Grand Duchy of Luxembourg, Luxembourg City, the European Council, Brussels, and the European Parliament in Strasbourg. The visits were part of efforts geared towards deepening relations and ties of cooperation between Ghana and her European partners. As a result, Ghana received 82.5 million euros, representing the European Investment Bank's largest support for COVID-related health investment in sub-Saharan Africa. This support was intended to contribute to government's efforts to strengthen the country's healthcare, as well as provide specialist medical equipment and medicines under Ghana's National COVID-19 Health Response Plan. Other outcomes were the signing of bilateral air services agreement and double taxation agreement, elimination of double taxation taxes on income and on capital, and the prevention of tax evasion and avoidance. I also undertook official visits to a number of countries, including the Democratic Republic of Sao Tome and Principe, where I signed 4 agreements of cooperation, namely general cooperation, political consultations, waiver of visa requirements, and tourism cooperation. Bilateral meetings on the margins of the 76th UNGA, United Nations General Assembly in New York, led to the doubling of the number of Serbian study scholarships for Ghanaian students for the year 2022, and the pledge by Greece for the donation of 200,000 doses of COVID-19 vaccines to Ghana, which were delivered during a visit by the Foreign Minister of Greece this year. Over the past years, the ministry has undertaken some initiatives to improve the service delivery of the passport office. I've now moved on to service delivery, which is on passports. At the last press interaction, I enumerated some projects in this regard, and I'm happy to report on the progress thus far. Online passport application. The online application system was rolled out nationwide in March 2020 under the government's digitalization program. The introduction of the system has made it convenient for applicants to submit their passport applications through an online platform. The online system requires applicants to book an appointment to undertake capturing of data. The new system engendered efficiency in the processing of passports while ensuring reliability and convenience for applicants who do not have to go through much hassle in submitting their passport applications. Establishment of passport application centers. We as a ministry have established a number of passport application centers nationwide as part of efforts to decentralize passport service and bring the application process to the doorstep of the public. Accordingly, there are currently 13 centers operating across the country. Construction of the Upper East Regional Passport Application Center is to be commenced soon. The target is to ensure that each region, all 16, has at least one application center to ensure that applicants do not have to travel over long distances to access application services. A premium service has been introduced for willing applicants in order to offer them the opportunity to enjoy a more comfortable and convenient atmosphere whilst going through the application process at the application center. It also provides a courier service which delivers issued passports to applicants in their homes and offices. There are 3 application centers which offer premium service to applicants. These are located in Accra, Kumasi, and Tamale. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration has also extended the validity period of passports from 5 to 10 years for passport holders above 12 years. And we have also introduced a 48-page passport booklets to address the specific needs of frequent travelers. The ministry has also taken steps to establish biometric passport application centers at some missions abroad to make it possible for our compatriots in the diaspora to easily access passport services. There are currently 41 of our missions abroad operating such application centers. The arrangement is still ongoing to establish more centers in the remaining missions. Introduction of chip-embedded passports. Plans are far advanced for Ghana to migrate from the current biometric passport system to chip-embedded passports. The chip-embedded passport project is being undertaken through a public-private partnership agreement. The agreement relating to the new system is currently being considered by the Ministry of Finance, and the rollout is expected to be done in the course of the year. The introduction of the new system will largely enhance the security features of our passports in line with the standards prescribed by the International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I regret, however, to announce that due to COVID-related disruptions to global supply chains, we currently do not have in stock the 32-page booklet. The ministry placed the order sometime in August last year, but the booklets are yet to be delivered. Efforts are being made to ensure that they are delivered sooner rather than later. In the meantime, applicants who cannot wait could apply for the 48-page booklet, which is available. On this note, I'd like to humbly appeal to our friends in the media to help the ministry sensitize the public to the fact that passports are being processed within the specified period. And so there is no need for anybody, to pay any money to middlemen to help them. The middlemen do not fast-track the process in any way. So please do not patronize them. Consular services. I wish to emphasize that my ministry remains committed towards its prime responsibility of promoting and protecting the interests of our nationals abroad. In this regard, it will not relent in its efforts to ensure that missions are adequately equipped to discharge efficient and reliable consular services to meet the welfare needs of our compatriots. Whilst my ministry has made tremendous efforts to improve on delivery of consular services by missions abroad, we also acknowledge the need to put in place a system that expeditiously addresses complaints from applicants. Accordingly, the Client Service Unit, located at the ministry in Accra, has been equipped with a relevant software which enables the unit to provide real-time updates on passport applications to applicants across the globe. The unit is also able to respond to basic complaints and grievances on matters concerning passport applications. The contact lines of the unit are currently posted on the ministry's website. In addition, our diplomatic missions also embark upon outreach programs to provide consular services to Ghanaians who reside in remote communities. This initiative makes it possible for such people to access consular services such as acquisition of passports without having to travel long distances to our missions. Our missions, or embassies, engage the Ghanaian communities through town hall meetings. Indeed, our mission in London has divided the United Kingdom into 6 zones: the Southwest, the Southeast, the Midlands, the North, Scotland, and Wales, with a schedule to visit at least every quarter. With this initiative, the mission is able to reach out to every community. Aside from the town hall meetings, the consular section periodically holds virtual meetings with the communities to respond to concerns of Ghanaians on matters relating to passport, visas, dual citizenship certificates, and other consular-related documents. As part of measures aimed at addressing the challenges and complaints from applicants in relation to the provision of consular services to Ghanaians and foreigners abroad, the ministry has contracted a third-party customer service professional to provide enhanced and timely consular service to complement the work of our foreign service officers at our embassies abroad. This will help eliminate the backlog created by gaps and restrictions associated with COVID-19 across the globe. Over the years, the visas that are being issued admissions abroad have been manual and sometimes handwritten, and this is inconsistent with accepted international practice. To ensure compliance with international practice and enhance and harmonize our visas, we are in the process of moving to machine-readable electronic visas with security features that cannot be tampered with. I'm glad to inform you that 39 of Ghana's missions abroad have been selected for the first phase of the project for the deployment of the system, which will be effective in March 2022. The remaining missions are to be covered under the phase 2 of the project. The new system aimed at enhancing efficiency of service delivery, greater accountability of consular revenues, and will also ensure national security. This harmonization is being done in collaboration with the Ghana Immigration Service, which will be the main administrative center. Now, I'm moving on to enhancing Ghana's international image and influence. I want to touch on our landed properties that we have acquired, renovated, or purchased. In our efforts to give a facelift and maintain the value of our missions abroad, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration undertook the following. Ghana Permanent Mission in Geneva, Switzerland was constructed. Our mission has moved in. We also have purchased the residency of the Ghana Embassy in Tokyo. We all know about our new passport office at Ridge. Also, on the way to the castle at Osu, if you look on your left, you'll find a complex. It's called Edu Lodge, which has been renovated almost into a new lodge for visiting dignitaries. Also, we have purchased the chancery. We have purchased the residency for the Ghana Embassy in Oslo. We have also rented a chancery for the Ghana Embassy in Oslo, Norway. We have also done expansion works at the consular section of the Ghana Embassy in Berlin. So a new building has been constructed there as part of the expansion works to house Ghanaians who come to apply for passports and visas. They don't have to be in the cold weather any longer. We have also refurbished an e-library for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Also, residencies for the Foreign Minister and the Chief Director of the Ministry have been renovated, repaired, rehabilitated. I move on to promotion of Ghana and Ghanaians in international organizations. We were successful in the year 2021 in securing positions for Ghanaians in international organizations or on international bodies as state members with the support of relevant missions and MDAs. This include the election of Professor Alex Dodo, Director General of the Ghana Standards Board, as the President of the African Organization for Standardization. The election of Honorable Seth Achampong, who is the Eastern Regional Minister, as Ghana's national expert on the United Nations Commission on Narcotic Drugs. The election of Ghana as a member of the Council of Administration of the Universal Postal Union. The election by popular acclamation of Judge Dennis Ajay to serve on the Advisory Committee on the nomination of judges to the International Criminal Court. The re-election of Mr. Peter Koji as the Secretary General of the All African Students Union, ASU, and re-election of Mr. Yofi Grant, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, as Regional Director for Sub-Saharan Africa of the World Association of Investment Promotion Agencies. Our internal coordinating mechanism on candidatures is working on finalizing and operationalizing a software to serve as a database for supporting Ghana's candidates for international position. There's a need to further advance the government of Ghana's vision of effectively promoting the contribution of the country and its human resource capacity to development issues regionally and internationally. On economic diplomacy, our agenda continues to focus on the national objective of diversifying and increasing Ghana's export base by actively seeking markets for our products abroad, and also taking advantage of preferential arrangements as well as multilateral trade agreements. It also advocates for diversification and expansion of the tourism industry for job creation and revenue generation by marketing Ghana as a competitive tourist destination and attracting investment into the hospitality industry. On trade and investment promotion, we undertook a number of economic activities to engage existing partners and create platforms for new partnerships and networks. These included facilitating the participation of various Ghanaian delegations in workshops, summits, fairs, trade missions, and conferences, amongst others. Listing a few, a working visit to the European Union headquarters in Brussels by President Akufo-Addo from 19th to 20th of May 2021. And this culminated in a proposal by the European Union to select Ghana as a possible manufacturing hub for COVID-19 vaccines in Africa. And also the signing of a €170 million EIB facility for the establishment of the Ghana Development Bank. Also, a visit by His Excellency the President to Germany from 22nd to 29th culminated in a pledge by Germany to donate 1.5 million AstraZeneca vaccines to Ghana to support the country's fight against COVID-19. It's been delivered. A state visit to Ghana by the President of Angola from the 1st to 3rd of August 2021, which culminated in the signing of a memorandum of intent, which defines the areas of cooperation between our two countries. Through the letter of intent, Angola sought to draw from Ghana's experience in agriculture and special emphasis on cocoa production, whilst Ghana focuses on Angola's experience in the oil industry. Also, the official visit by President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo to Spain from the 28th to the 30th of March, and his participation in the launch of the Spanish Action Plan dubbed Focus Africa 2023. Participation by President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo in the 16th edition of the CII Exim Bank Conclave on the India-Africa Project Partnership from the 13th to 15th of July 2021. On the 29th of June 2021, the ministry facilitated the commissioning of the Toyota Tusho manufacturing vehicle assembly plant in Ghana. Our mission in Tokyo also held discussions with Honda Motors on a proposal to set up an SKD vehicle assembling plant in Ghana by the year end 2023. We also held discussions with the former ambassador of Japan to the Republic of Ghana regarding a grant aid for the second Tema Crossing Improvement Plan project with a projected amount of approximately 97 million United States dollars. The Japan External Trade Organization Office, which aims at providing information on doing business in both Ghana and Japan to the private sectors in both countries, was established in Ghana. JETRO was established in Ghana on the 5th of November 2021. We also facilitated the opening of a Volkswagen assembly facility in Ghana, and this becomes the 5th VW assembly located in sub-Saharan Africa. The establishment of this assembly line for both the domestic and the West African market will significantly reduce the country's foreign import bills to enable its safe foreign exchange and strengthen the CD. On AFCFTA, Ghana as a state party has put in place the essential institutional and implementation frameworks to support trading under the African Continental Free Trade Area since the official opening of trading on the 1st of January 2021. Our diplomatic missions abroad, especially the 25 in Africa, play a critical role in facilitating and maintaining long-term bilateral partnerships throughout the continent, which are critical to the agreement's success. Our role will continue to include marketing or projecting Ghana's investment opportunities. We work with the National AFCFTA Coordination Office, other state organizations to identify and promote Ghana's AFCFTA implementation. In this regard, we contribute to the holding of trade shows and investor business meetings with potential investors from member states interested in taking advantage and business-to-business B2B alliance with other overseas counterparts. This includes exchanging information about home country products and services and with overseas partners to encourage matchmaking and partnerships. Also informing Ghanaian stakeholders of specific products and services of foreign member states. This helps local businesses, investors in Ghana to take advantage of market opportunities in other state party countries, which is based on the approved specification of the member states. Also, we protect and ensure Ghanaian traders are treated fairly in other countries. Our missions, which is our embassies, serve as trade advocates to safeguard the interests of Ghanaian companies in their trading activities in foreign countries. Furthermore, these missions also help protect Ghanaian intellectual property in foreign lands. We also facilitate timely dispute resolutions. Our missions abroad serve as the first point of call to resolve any trade disputes that may arise with respect to Ghanaian businesses in other countries. And also, we identify and support established Ghanaian traders in the countries where our missions are accredited. Colleague Minister, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration will continue to work hard to protect and promote Ghana's image and reputation abroad, as well as the interest of its citizens for the larger national interest. That larger interest is the peace and security of our nation and the creation and safeguarding of the enabling environment, conditions, and opportunities for the well-being and prosperity of all the Ghanaian people. Thank you very much for your attention.
Honorable Minister, grateful for your time and for the presentation. The Honorable Minister spoke to about 6 major issues. First, and what I believe is of major concern to many of us here, the containment of the growing insecurity situation in the West Africa sub-region. Because without a secure environment, nothing else can flow from that. And she spent time to talk about the direct cost, the opportunity cost, impact nationwide, the efforts that the government of Ghana, led by President Akufo-Addo, who is also chair of ECOWAS, has been embarking upon. She's also spoken about our interests on the United Nations Security Council, where we have a seat currently, a non-permanent seat. She's spoken about the impact of the recent high-level interactions between the president and key government officials and their counterparts from other countries, the impact of that on Ghana's development. Item number 4, improving service delivery to citizens, and included in that is the working towards the target of the 16 processing centers for passports across the country. The Honorable Minister has also spoken about consular services, making them efficient and reliable, and the matter of electronic visas as well. And finally, she's spoken about economic diplomacy and its benefit. Colleagues, it's a good time to take your questions on these unrelated matters. We'll do not more than 3 rounds of questions and not more than 4 persons in each round. So if you have a question, now is a good time to signal me so that we send the microphone to you. If the briefing is also been so understood that there are no questions, we will be pleased. The moment I said that, I saw your hand go up. So if you can bring down the microphone, are there any takers? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have my first 4. So kindly bring the microphone down here. Who's with the mic? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hi, my name is Agnes. I report for the Chronicle newspaper. I would like to find out what measures ECOWAS is putting in place to ensure that incumbent governments do not extend their term of office when it's time for them to leave power. Because you realize that most of these coups happen, especially the one in Guinea, where Alpha Conde extended his term of office and changed the constitution. So that I would like to know what measures are being put in place to ensure that they don't toe that line again. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The name is Agnes. Agnes from Chronicle. Just a quick point there. It's not true that most of the coups are because of that. The 3 that we've had, I think it's only Guinea. The other 2 have not been because of that supposition. But your question is very valid. We just need to be sure that that narrative doesn't go there, that most West African leaders are doing that. But I'll give Honorable Minister an opportunity to correct.
Yeah, thank you. I want to add up to what my sister said. I know ECOWAS Commission is facilitating effort of amending the supplementary protocol on democracy and good governance. And recently I learned the ECOWAS leaders want ECOWAS Commission to expedite the amendment of that protocol. It is adding up to this because I learned...
this is a protocol on what?
On democracy and good governance. Yes, supplementary. And so I want to find out if we have given the ECOWAS Commission any specific time for amendment of this protocol to halt this military takeovers in West Africa. Then my second question is, the minister said because of the extremist attack in West Africa, we have herdsmen coming to Ghana, we have herdsmen coming to Afan Plains, or people coming to the coastal communities to do fishing and all those things.
I thought you said it's a Lake Chad matter, rather. That's what I heard.
Okay.
That yes, because of the drying up of Lake Chad,
yeah,
you had people who previously were, situated around it, now migrating. Not necessarily because of insecurity, but go ahead.
Okay, so I want to find out whether this border closure is still in place. Because if it is still in place, how come they are managing to enter the country?
Okay. So if our land borders are still closed,
yes,
how come we still have worries about this illegal migrants coming into our
country?
Yeah, I think that's a substantive question. Okay.
Okay. Then my third question.
I'm not doing more than 2. So let me take others. If I have any more time, I'll come to you. Yes. There was a lady and then a gentleman at the back there.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Harriet Nate. I host Diplomatic Affairs on Pan-African Television.
Harriet.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I'd like to add up to what my sister asked initially about the preventive measures that are in place to avoid these coups on the West African region. And the second one is coming from somebody who watches Diplomatic Affairs a lot. If I'm permitted to read her message to you. It says, question from a Ghanaian abroad. The ministry released a presser on the shortage of 32 pages passport booklets. Minister, Ghanaians, especially those abroad, are asking why they are to be punished for somebody's negligence to see to the day-to-day stock taking of the books. Again, from your speech, you said that those who have paid and gone through the process and can't wait should pay again for 48 pages and go through the process again. Is there any refund to the first payment of the 32 pages? And if not, why? Thank you.
Thank you very much. So he's asking why is somebody abroad having to pay for the negligence of somebody else who did not take day-to-day stock. First, we must be clear that that is not the case. I always make the point that if we don't arrest some of these false narratives, then people start repeating it. The Honorable Minister has explained, and no, it's not about you, it's about the person who sent it in. Honorable Minister explained that because of the supply chain constraints as a result of COVID, the supplies have not been in on time to meet that demand. So I think it must be explained to this person clearly that it is not because of somebody's negligence that they didn't check day-to-day stock. That's not true. Before you realize that becomes a story going on. That's not true. But your substantive question is 48 pages and refund. So, Minister, I'll come to you for the question of 48 pages, and I needed to deal with this thing that can create misinformation. Yes, sir.
Honorable, good afternoon.
Yeah.
Bajan Femi Opoku, Mifri Kingdom FM. Pastor, my question here, first, me person who say, ECOWAS as a body more intelligence team or homebo and one, and as a omobia cool nice, omo picky intelligence on this school say BBC and na and among no mutu say omo picky intelligence impo and among no mutu to say omo stop it to avoid say ABC. Typical example here, Burkina Faso there no. Some military for so ma can part these jihadists never honor.
Yeah.
Then I have intelligence team here to even avoid some of these coup d'etat. That's it.
Honorable Minister, before I invite you to the podium, permit me, with your permission, let me make a quick comment on this thing about preventive measures on coups. The best prevention against coups is also a very clear education of the public on democracy and its values and its rules and how we operate in that space. We need to do, and I say this because just last week we had to draw the attention of one media house to the commentary that was being made by their own social media handles, which, for want of a better expression, are very insightful. And for many of us, the young ones who never grew up, seeing soldiers beat people up and rule of law suspended, sometimes we think it's fashionable to be, calling for it. But one of the most important things is for all of us to participate in this exercise of educating everybody about democracy and its rules and how we play by those rules, and encouraging those who also hold offices to abide by those rules. Honorable Minister, please do join us.
Thank you very much. The first question, Agnes from Chronicle. You're asking about measures that ECOWAS should adopt or can adopt to ensure that incumbents do not change the constitution, so that adventurers do not take advantage and stage coups. Let me say that we can never, ever, ever justify a coup d'etat happening because of a change of constitution. That's a fact. We should not justify. Now, we need to deal as a bloc with the issue of changes in constitutions of countries by incumbents. That is a legitimate question. And I believe that it is for that reason that, having gone through or experienced the region experiencing the issue which has occurred as a result of a change in constitution perpetuating a stay of a president in office, which is, I'm referring to Guinea, the heads of state have tasked the ECOWAS Commission to review a supplementary protocol on democracy and good governance, so that we deal with the issues, we preempt issues that could occur, such as what happened in Guinea, and deal with those issues from the very onset of such issues. At the moment, the ECOWAS Commission has gone through the review. I cannot give details, but one of the issues that is being considered is to ensure that the two-term limit is clearly stated in the protocol, so that once we all sign to it, we make sure that we abide by it. And so that is being done. Very soon it will come to the heads of state for them to deliberate on the review, what the provisions they are talking about. One of the things that will be part of it, which is critical, is the early warning system. And just recently, Ghana has set up an early warning center. All 15 member states are supposed to set up early warning centers. Unfortunately, not all of us have been able to do it. but countries are working on it. And the recent past occurrences, I think that it is reason for every country to ensure that they have their early warning centers operational, so that these will pick up, will be proactive. It will pick up these matters as soon as it starts, when there are issues that will lead to these kind of situations, quickly pick them up and deal with them. So I believe that in the not too distant future, you will hear about heads of state meeting to deliberate and consider what the proposals that have been presented to them, i.e. the revised supplementary protocol. Now, the other question is, if our borders are closed, why do we still have, we all know West Africa and our long stretches of borders, we have had to close our land borders. Well, so the official entry and exit is closed. However, we have long stretches of unmanned borders. It is almost impossible for any country to police their borders 24/7 because of the long stretches. Ghana, we are doing well. We need a lot of equipment. Other countries also are procuring equipment in the form of drones and ships to make sure that we police not just our waters, but also our land borders, so that crossing becomes difficult. So that's what is being done at the moment. That is the reason why you still have the herdsmen crossing. You still have, today, you go on the streets of Accra, a lot of beggars, many of them are not Ghanaians, and they've crossed over because of issues, humanitarian issues, difficulties as a result of either climate change or the activities of these terrorists and these extremists. So that's the problem that we have. And until we are able to police all our borders, we'll still continue to have these issues. Harriet's preventive measures to avoid coups. I think I have spoken about it. One of the things that His Excellency the President already at the level of the continental body, AU, we have the African peer review mechanism, where countries subject themselves to be peer reviewed, and it stretches from governance, economics, social, everything. And so when you are peer reviewed, I mean, it means that all the time others are looking at your activities. President is looking at the same thing to be instituted in ECOWAS, so that before any of these issues happen, it's picked up. And if it means that behind the scenes work needs to be done, it will be done, talking to peers, as well as having the early mechanism and also the protocol on good governance. Thank you. Is there a question that? Yes. What we are saying is that we have run out of 32-page booklets, not because of anybody's negligence. The minister has even explained it, but because of the supply chain issues the world over. All over the world, we are facing supply chain issues because of COVID. Today, if you want some parts of vehicles to buy, it's difficult because for a period of time, factories were shut, were not operating. In any case, also when it comes to shipment, we are having problems with shipment, availability of even containers for shipment. You're going for long periods of time before you're able to even get a cut. So all these things are as a result of COVID, and we had to close down economies. A lot has happened in the last 18 months to 2 years. So it is not because anybody has been negligent. It is just delays as a result of COVID and supply chain matters. So this is what it is. However, let me say that we are expecting booklets very soon, which is why we are saying that in the event that you have an emergency and you need a passport, please get the 48 page. We are looking at ways in which the difference between a 48 page director passport, please, it's 100 CDs for the 32 page, is that correct? And 150 for the 48 page. So there's a difference of 50. If you have already paid the 100 CDs and there's a need for you to obtain a passport, to pay the 50 extra, it won't be cancelling it and at your cost and having to start the process all over. And that's what they are looking at, the mechanism to do that. But if you have an emergency, please let us know and we will know what to do about it for you. Thank you. Yes, on the issue of intelligence, could you do the translation for me? On the issue of intelligence, that question is very key. And for us to be able to protect each other, the president, as a result of the terrorist attack, the escalation in the attacks and all of that, and the violent extremism, he initiated what we call the Accra Initiative, bringing together the coastal states. The coastal states are not in the forefront of the negative effects of the terrorism. We haven't been attacked, thank God, touch wood. But he felt that there was the need for us to now come together. Having had experienced attacks in Côte d'Ivoire, in Benin, in Togo, because we know that a country like Burkina Faso, which has half of the country taken over by terrorists, border our countries, including Ghana. And therefore, he decided that the Accra Initiative should be instituted to share information and share intelligence. So as we speak, that is happening within the security services. They've all come together and they meet periodically and very often to share information. Also, like I said earlier, the early warning centers are being set up in all the countries. And so that is being done. And this is supposed to pick up as soon as something is about to happen, you pick it up quickly. Apart from that, you have the maritime coordination centers also being set up in the member states. And Ghana has set up its own maritime coordination center. And the others are also in the process of doing so. So these are all mechanisms to pick up attacks and all of that before they even happen. And of course, we have the Political Affairs, Peace and Security Commission, as part of the commission. And they are working day and night. They go from member state to member state and they pick up information. So like I said, a lot is being done. But take the example of Ghana. We've set up our early warning center. We've set up our maritime coordination center. If other countries are now in the process having done it, then of course it has an effect on us. But that's what I can say to that. Could you translate it into Shona?
Minister, thank you. I'll get ready for the second batch of questions. But Kingdom, Senior Minister Kayano, and Ukraine to be a would was to form what it say, I might have been being, near my cost or no, Sempany for and Ran can once a year, to me, a day, Asafwa, President to the Bejo Mino, Eba. Senior Minister Kayano, my penny Akufado, and Eddie Kayama, Amaya. Sebe yene epone bohye no ehia na yakan adwea bom se me meti bibia meka kire wo so ti bibia beka kire me Brunisi intelligence sharing friend Accra Initiative no no mafiase omo ye ne mpo no se wo bibia na wo ti bibi mpo a dia ebewiya ne se obema saa oman no ne mpanimfo aso ate na foto obi wo ha ECOWAS de ama wo de ye adwuma ebeboa enye se obi befi ni krom So what is a BB to me as you baby in Tisabi or no Nasrafo, a cohort or yes, Edman Sabri. Sanya Mano says, see, I just say be a dumpons will be a echo was crampo, Ajatum say BBS in a quack or sano. Did you bet me a bar and say, a foot ne, I've been training a suitin on my mom, so say ni ti fat na fire to the Juma, the money amount to you. We'll go for the second batch, or maybe this will be the last batch of questions. I've got 2 hands at the back, 1, 2, 3. This will probably be the final batch. 1, 2, 3, and then we'll wrap up. So let's start from here, and then we'll work our way backwards. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. My name is Salom Bobiji from the Finder.
Your name is
Salom Bobiji.
Salom.
Yes.
Salom, let's hear you.
In recent times, especially in the case of Guinea and Mali, there's been the issue of political legitimacy. When the coups have happened, the citizens have backed the soldiers.
Some of the citizens have backed the soldiers.
So what is ECOWAS doing within its circles to ensure that this trend does not continue, where the military feels emboldened to tell ECOWAS to essentially clear off?
I'm sorry, I can hardly hear you. What is ECOWAS doing to ensure that
this trend does not continue? Because if more citizens in more countries support coups, then it will embolden more soldiers elsewhere too.
Okay, thank you. So what can ECOWAS do to help citizens of these various countries understand that democracy is way better for them? Have I captured your question well? Thank you. So the final two.
Good afternoon, Honorable.
Yeah.
My name is Akokraba from Kasapa FM. I want to find out, with the advent of these prevailing coups within the region, do we stand a chance of losing our membership status on the international front with the advent of this coup within the...
As in the countries that have not suffered that, or the countries, because the countries that have suffered that, one of the first things is that you lose your membership of the international community, even starting from ECOWAS.
Oh.
So are you asking about them, or you're asking about those that have not?
Those that have not been enrolled on the membership status.
Well, no, for them, no. There's no basis for them to lose.
Okay, all right, thank you.
So then I'll take the final one. So it's a final hand there? We're done. Well, so then we'll go back to the very last question. Honorable Minister, is there anything that ECOWAS can do towards citizen engagement to ensure that citizens also understand the benefits of democracy for their own development? Minister.
Thank you very much, Salam. This is a very relevant issue that you have raised in the form of a question. What is ECOWAS doing to ensure that citizens do not back? Because that is what is happening in the case of Mali, in the case of Guinea, in the case even to some extent in Burkina Faso. Let me say that it's extremely important for us as citizens to understand that when we put our thumbs to a ballot paper during an election, it means that we are committed to democracy and to the term limits. And so as citizens, it is incumbent on us to ensure that even if you are not satisfied with the status quo, you will have an opportunity, which is your right as a citizen, during elections to speak your mind and to change governments. And so when soldiers take out a democratically elected government, however bad the situation is, like I said earlier, it can never be justified. What we need to do, and you see especially the youth, and you don't blame them because the youth are hungry for jobs. The youth want to see development and as quickly as possible. They want to progress and develop like others are in other places, which is what started the Arab Spring many, many years ago. And so we need to make sure that ECOWAS is in the forefront, and it is for that reason that the monies, our levies, community levy, and all that we pay, we have started to look at the ECOWAS processes and to make sure that over 65% of what we pay go into community programs and not into expenses of the commission. Apart from that, there is a department which deals with economies, is looking at the economies of the 15 member states and all of that. So that's all going on at the moment to make sure that we empower the youth, we empower the citizens, that the citizens speak freely and all of that. It is being done and it continues to be done, but it's going to be stepped up because we've come to realize that it is extremely necessary. I've already spoken about the fact that, I mean, for anybody who decides to change the constitution also, the ECOWAS is going to deal with those situations also. So all these are going towards making sure that we deal with the push factors that bring about these situations. And it is something that is tasking the minds of ECOWAS heads of state, and they are working with the commission, working also with outside organizations, institutions, how to better our economies and how to make sure that things go well. Whether any membership will be lost if you have not engaged in any unconstitutional activities in your countries. There's no way that anybody can suspend you or kick you out of an organization. And so that's, Minister has already answered it. What can ECOWAS do towards citizen engagement? I think is extremely important. It is something that we are going to see more of in the near future. Apart from ECOWAS itself engaging in citizen engagement to sensitize the citizens, ECOWAS will also encourage member states to also go on that tangent to make sure that citizens understand the whole the process of development, also of your engagement as a citizen, your engagement also within the democratic space, what you can do and what you should do, what you cannot do, and so on and so forth. So that's what I can say to that.
Yes, please. Honourable Minister, thank you very much for your presentation. And colleagues, as she concludes by talking of what ECOWAS will do towards citizen engagement, I want to implore you as well. You also have a very big role to play in helping us engage our citizens, because you and I play in an industry that benefits the most when there's democracy. If you look at Chapter 12 of our Constitution, that's where the freedoms that we are enjoying and sometimes we are even abusing, that's where those freedoms are enshrined. And the moment you have a military takeover, the moment the military take over in any of these countries, one of the first things they do is that they suspend the constitution. What it means is that your right to free expression is suspended. You will not have the freedom, I will not have the freedom, we will not have the freedom to be speaking and expressing our thoughts and our disagreements. So for some of us who think that it is fashionable to be inciting, it's actually counterproductive. And so ECOWAS will play its part, but we also have a responsibility to help everybody in the West African sub-region to understand the value and the benefits of democracy, if for nothing at all, for the freedom of expression that you and I enjoy. And I just wanted to make that point to you. Honourable Minister, I want to say we're grateful to you and your deputy. I had the permission of the Honourable Deputy Minister. That's how come I am allowed to be here. today. And to the directors and to our colleagues, we thank you very much for being with us. Wish you all the best.